do you ever get the idea to just go one more time growing it out, or are you kind of past that? Like one more last hurrah, I guess is what you would say.
I mean, I've tried it before, but I get annoyed. I'm impatient.
Okay.
So there's a patience process of growing your hair and
Uh-huh.
maintaining, and I just don't have the patience for that. So I've tried it, but absolutely, I think I consider it. I mean, I'm not going crazy. I'm not growing like a whole fro, but
You're not getting like
you
twist or
know,
anything.
no, I'm too old for that shit.
that, that
That's
that
how.
that was essentially my question, but I didn't want to frame it as like you're gonna get dreadlocks,
Yeah,
And I
you
felt
old.
like that's weird coming from me.
That's racist and ageist
Yeah,
all at the same time.
yeah, like
No,
um,
no, absolutely, man. I you want to grow it just because like 15 years from now, you don't want to look back and be like, I had one more opportunity, I just didn't do it.
yeah. No,
Now,
it's definitely the I've had the thought of, well, this is all gonna go away at some point. But like
this is
I wear hats 99% of the time.
so who's
So
gonna notice?
yeah, like am I gonna grow my hair out to stylize it? No. So what's the fucking point? That's
Exactly.
also why my wife gives me a hard time. She's like, "Don't cut your hair. I love your hair." I'm like, "You barely see it."
Yeah, no.
I
If you
wear
just
I wear hats. I literally will wear a hat all day, and then right when I'm going to sleep, take it off, go to sleep. Like I don't. There's no time when I'm not wearing the hat.
you're just gonna get a sleep hat. That's all that's gonna happen. I don't
The only
understand
way
what
you
you're
see my
thinking.
hair is like I'll have it forward, and I'll like have to kiss my baby, or want to kiss my daughter. I'll flip it back. That's when you see it for a second. Is when I flip it,
Mm.
kiss it, go back. That's the only time you see my hair, really.
I got a total of 15 seconds of hair time
Yeah.
throughout the entire day. It's
Yeah.
not that crucial.
She's trying to say you can't cut it.
She's trying
Whatever.
to fight you getting old, big dog. It's over with. Just let her know I'm washed. It's over with now. And
I'm
I've
washed.
I've accepted it. We're here now. You can always go
Yeah.
to Turkey, get that shit extended. Then you can get dreadlocks. That'd be dope.
I don't know how it got on my timeline, but I saw a compilation of athletes that got hair replacement.
The
I don't know
Haley put that
how,
shit,
no,
Haley put that shit in your algorithm.
I don't know how it got there, but I'm like, I saw LeBron, I saw so many people. It wasn't even
Dog.
athletes, it was like some musicians too. I think Tyga had a crazy new hairline.
No, 100%. When you're not
Yeah.
looking, she Googles that shit just so it pops up. Just little reminders. That's
No,
fly. I
no.
respect it. I respect it.
But hey, at 27, being I'll turn 28 this year, my hairline's still not terrible. If it was bad, you wouldn't be able to see it in my hat. But it's like it's
That's
right
fair.
there. It's right
That's
there.
fair. I still
Um,
got it. I got 3 years on you, and I'm doing great. In
you're
case you're wondering,
you look fantastic, and you always have, and you always will. I think.
my dad started losing hair around like 50 something. He still goes to the
Damn.
barbers. He still goes to the barber right now, and he ain't got no hair. I'm like, dog, you wasting money at this point. So I
It's
don't want
just for
to.
the camaraderie at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm just here to talk. I'm paying to talk to people. That's all it is. I just don't want to go through that stage in my life where it's like, yeah, got my haircut today. What'd you do different? All right, bitch. Like,
This is I don't need this from you right now.
I don't want this negativity in my life. I'm gonna be honest with you.
All right. Welcome, one and all, episode 7 of the Bench Player Podcast. Make sure to follow us on the social medias, the Bench Player Podcast on TikTok, the
Lucky
Bench
number
Player
seven.
Podcast YouTube, Bench Player Podcast on Spotify and the Apple Podcast app, because we all over there. Last week was an interesting week, and then we had the Kendrick show that we are going to talk about. We got the NBA draft coming up for when we start talking about basketball. We'll really give a good bench player podcast mock draft, and we'll see how off or how spot on that is. I'm notoriously known for guessing the Thompson twins going back to back. Like I'm known in the streets for that. They're like, oh, he's the
Mm.
guy that predicted that because no
He's the
one
one
else
that
did.
did it. He's the
Yeah,
one that did it.
I have photographic evidence that I did. So since I got those two picks right, I'm basically a draft guru. So
You
just
know
come,
everything now.
yeah. Since
Yeah,
I've done
no.
that, Lord
So
knows,
rap.
Lord knows I've there used to be a segment that we do one time where I talk about not only what I've gotten right, but how off I've been. I have a notorious story about how I've was so wrong about Donovan Mitchell. I hated Donovan Mitchell out of college, and now I want him on the Rockets so bad. Funny how the tides have turned.
That's
But
how it happens, man.
We always start out with music. Slow week for music. Not really a whole lot going on. Um, the
It's
main thing
all
is
Kendrick.
it's all Kendrick. It's really all that's a good way to put it. It's really all Kendrick as far as not only the Ken and Friends show, but the video that's being shot and all that all that jazz. So let's start off with the show. It took place it was
Well,
Juneteenth, obviously,
last
but
Wednesday.
last Wednesday. Um, Surprises, any criticisms, any just takeaways that you have? I want to get your thoughts on it.
Overall, great show, awesome show.
So
Uh,
entertaining.
so entertaining. I enjoyed being able to see artists I've never heard of before, and now went back to look up their music, add it to my playlist. That's what moments like that are always good for. You kind of take your moment and say, "Hey, I want to share this moment with everybody else." That's always a fun experience. Um, I will say Kendrick, surprise and disappointment, right? Kendrick rapped with no backtrack the entire time. Impressive. Boy, I feel like I know his songs better than he does.
He messed up some lyrics,
No, he 100% messed up some
but
lyrics.
like who wouldn't, you know?
No, it's you're also rapping a 6 minute diss track with no backtrack that came out a few weeks
That
ago.
you
I
just
get it.
wrote. Yeah.
I get it. I get it. However, in a performance standpoint, it was still like I wanted to hear the Daft Punk line on Euphoria Live. He skipped over that shit completely. He just repeated the same line
And
over
that's
and
one of
over
the
again.
hardest bars.
I was waiting for it, and I was like, wait, what? Hold on, what just happened? So it is what it is. It doesn't take away from the entire moment. However, it's a little disappointing.
Yeah. And I said, and I looked this up. This is interesting, okay? So I would have put all of my money that Baby Keem would have been running all over that stage.
Oh,
He wasn't. Do you think because Baby Keem didn't grow up in Cali that's he kept his own cousin off
that's
the
exactly why.
show
I think that's
because like
exactly
he was
why.
born in Cali, but he grew up, I think, in Vegas.
Yes, correct.
And he
Baby Keem was at the show.
Yeah, I didn't know. So I'm not too familiar with my Baby Keem knowledge. I can't say I listen to him a whole lot.
Get your shit together.
And so I Googled it and I was like, what would be the reason why Baby Keem wouldn't be on the show at all? So then I Googled and I saw that he was born in Cali but grew up in Vegas. I'm like, Kendrick left his own, like, you not like us at this, like, you
This
not like from Compton. You know what I'm saying?
this West Side shit. We don't give a fuck who you are.
That's great. He really,
I'll leave my daddy off this stage.
the Drake
Not a
bar,
game.
from the diss track where he says you don't go back to your neighborhood and plant any money trees. He's like, watch this.
He did it. It's exactly what he did.
He planted a forest.
But
Um,
hey, I mean, we love to see it. Partially, you could say thanks Drake for making Kendrick go back. That's feedback that some people have gotten from this.
yeah.
Gotta play both sides.
I lost count of how many times Not Like Us played. I think it was six,
Six
seven.
sounds about it. I think it was six because you also got the instrumental at the end.
Yeah,
Uh, Everybody and their mama came on stage. We're singing "Not Like Us." You almost forget that he's calling him a pedophile so many times in the song. You have kids on stage dancing to it. It's a little wild, but I get it. It's more than the song at this point.
I'm not. I swear, I'm not trying to sound like I'm what the kids say glazing. I'm glazing Kendrick Lamar.
You definitely glazing.
But let's break this down to bare bones. Let's look at it from a black and white perspective. You got on stage live on Amazon Prime. Amazon, one of the biggest companies in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and you said Drake. And in that song, he references Drake by first name,
Mm-hmm.
Drake. Aubrey,
I heard you like him young.
you are a pedophile for 6 straight songs.
And
Is this one of the biggest knockouts we have seen in hip hop? Because at this point, okay, even if, and I'm really stretching here,
Pause.
Pause.
Big pause. No, I thought the same thing.
Even if, and this is me really trying to do the benefit of the doubt here,
Yeah.
if you think Drake beat Kendrick as far as the diss tracks go, even if that's the case, this, I feel like if we thought there was no argument before, this is a this is detrimental. Like it was a win before in my eyes. Like, oh, he won.
Yeah.
Now we somebody Drake's career could be altered for good.
So I am a believer that Kendrick won, right? I think me and you discussed this
Yeah,
even prior to this going out. It's documented.
yeah.
However, somehow I am in the Drake algorithm. Let me tell you what the Drake stands are saying
Oh,
now.
so are they saying like to get up on there and to do 6 songs in a row means Drake's in his head, that type of thing?
No, they're saying that Drake unified the West Coast. They're saying that only reason why Kendrick's even having this moment because he's never done a show like this is because of Drake. They're saying that Kendrick's riding the wave now. Uh, it's a lot of things. Not we did also see Drake perform back to back with memes behind him stomping on Meek Mill's grave. We watched that happen. So this is Kendrick's doing the Drake essentially. That's what this is. But no, that's what it all is. I if you stand, you stand. As somebody who is ride or die for the Rockets, I get it. When you got your team, you ride with it. So I can't fault them. But what are we talking about here?
Yeah. You know what I like to say now? I'm glad you liked it. That's my new hey man, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you think that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you think your boy won. That's crazy. And I'm trying to compare it, and I think of other hip hop beefs. Like I think of Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, Tupac. I'm not even gonna talk about that because that's so different, right?
Yeah,
But
it's completely
that
different.
was beef, beef, beef. But
That was real beef.
and a lot of the times we've seen like LL Cool J Cannabis. As far as a reputation goes, LL was so much bigger than Cannabis, where Cannabis is arguably the better rapper, but just status wise, so different. Two guys like Drake and Kendrick who are 1 and 2 on a lot of realistic lists.
Yeah.
This was like a knockout. And this is as far as moments go, for him to play the Not Like Us song 6 times in a row with dangerous gang members on the stage. And that song is eligible to win a Grammy. I don't know.
I feel like the Grammys might give it to him because they do not like Drake. That's very obvious.
But if we put all those things together in some type of score,
Oh yeah,
that's
no. We
wild.
He's running it up. He's absolutely running it up.
It's not only I'm the GOAT or I'm the best right now, but it's really just getting as much juice out of this one as possible. Pause.
You going crazy this
I'm going
episode.
insane.
No, that's insane. But I will ask, put yourself in Drake's shoes. How do you handle this situation?
You got to kill somebody.
Right?
No,
No.
you got
I'm
to jump
I'm
someone.
in LA. I'm showing up on stage. I got a gun.
I'm fucking Baby Keem up. Like the moment I see Baby Keem, I'm just jumping on him. I'm
Because you got Drake, who's essentially released nothing but pop records since this moment, right? We also have a Camila Cabello album coming out Friday with more Drake features, which is nothing but pop. Drake's back. I get it. That's what he does well. This is
that's
the
where the money's
summertime.
at.
However, given what's going on, this just seems like the wrong move after wrong move after wrong move. That's one person's perspective, right? We feel like you lost. We feel like you got whooped. I would rather you sit down for a second and then give me an album in the fall and we'll forget about it. But when you're in the moment and you just keep giving me the most popish records where Kendrick clearly said, keep waving my hands, making me dance, and there won't be no threat, you're essentially doing exactly what he told you to do. And I think that's a little strange.
That's what makes it so much worse in my head. Because
Yeah.
if you ask me like what can Drake do, honestly, I don't fucking know. Like, if you rap, they're gonna be like, stop it, you know? Because it's
Yeah.
so far in that direction. And we uh we kind of talked about it. We kind of talked about it last pod where I said,
Mhm.
Drake really turned the hip hop fans against him in this beef. And I don't think
Yeah.
it's necessarily his fault. It's just we kind of were reminded, and I want to say we, like I'm part of those annoying hip hop fans, but we kind of were reminded how good Kendrick is. Because it's so easy to put Kendrick low on a list when he's inactive. It's so easy
Right.
to do that. But then when he pops out, and we're reminded not only are you as good as we thought you were, you can also end man's career. I don't say end his career because he's so, but like you could just do it in a body bag
In a
in
matter
rap
of it,
sense.
and realistically, in about 6 days, that's all it took.
And it's like, wow, if somebody has a better case of being the GOAT, I would love to hear it. Like
And I'll ask this again because I think I asked you before on last pod. When we conclude everything, including our show, has he moved up on your all-time list, Kendrick?
Kendrick,
It's just
so
it's a
he,
huge moment. I don't know
I
if a
don't,
rapper's ever had a
this
single-handedly better moment ever.
I don't want to sound like I'm being a prisoner of the moment, but Drake's not above Kendrick on my all-time list. He
Okay.
can't be. He was before. He's like not now. And because when I try to make, as far as music I personally like to listen to, Kendrick's always been my one. He's been my favorite all-around rapper when it comes to what I like content-wise, what I like, just sonically. Kendrick has
Mhm.
always been my one. And I mean, Good Kid Mad City, came out when I was a teenager. So, that's prime, that's prime when you become diehard fans of people.
Yeah.
But I've always also had a realistic take. And I've always said if we made a non biased list of top rappers and we're talking about influence, we're talking about numbers, sales, and I do think Drake is a good rapper. It's hard to put, like, I put Jay-Z above Drake. You could put like the biggies and the Pox if you want to take it to that level. But it's
I'm
like,
not.
but Drake's his ability to mix it up and get a bag from any type of audience. And I talked about how the battle rappers love Drake because he can rap, but he stays in this middle ground that's so impressive. And look at me, I'm giving Drake compliments. After this, if I'm making an all-time list, I'm thinking, okay, so I got wherever I put them, if I put them at 2, 3, or 4, 5, wherever, it's like, okay, there's Drake, then there's Kendrick. But what Kendrick did to Drake, I can't. I
You have to
can't
consider
put,
it.
I
You have
can't,
to,
you know?
yeah.
Um,
And did J. Cole fall back to bottom 100 in your list?
no,
I
I
like
don't
to
know.
I like to make that joke. But after watching what happened with Drake, J. Cole made the best move ever.
I'm saying, no,
that was that was the most protecting your piece at 1,000%.
yeah, and I'm if Cole didn't want to go at Kendrick, because that's what it was set up and laid out to be,
Yeah.
was Kendrick was like, I'm talking to you, and Cole's like, oh, well, I got to talk back because I'm not a bitch, right? And then to bow out because because he's like, I don't want to be beefing with Kendrick because I like Kendrick. I'm cool with that.
I
It's
I
it's
think that
funny in the light though.
in hindsight, I think J. Cole realized what we know now. This is not just a music back and
Yeah,
forth.
he's like,
Right.
it's
This
more
is
serious.
no, they got a problem. Like they have a serious problem, and I don't have a problem with either one of these guys. So let me take my horse out the race.
Yeah, and it's um it's also going to be interesting when Cole puts out more music and he talks about being the GOAT. It's gonna be interesting because at the end of the day, if somebody is calling you out and saying you're not part of the big three, it's just me, and saying the first person shooter bars and stuff like that, you don't necessarily have to get incredibly personal, but you got to come out rapping.
Thing is, he
And
did,
he
and he did well, in my
I don't
opinion.
even think that's not the best Cole. That's the thing.
Maybe not, but I think it was
You got to
that
come out
was.
with some shit, and I don't think he came out with some shit, and that's part of the problem.
I don't necessarily agree. I think that that was a little jab on his part, let him know, hey, cool, I'm here to rap. And I think obviously this apology came out. We're all talking about in hindsight, right? The apology
Yep.
came out, which kind of got rid of whatever he did. However, I think that was J. Cole saying, hey, like I'm not this is fun. We're just rapping. I don't think he thought that this is what it was,
Right.
which would led to the apology. I'm sorry if I've gone back to his mixtape that might delete later. Top tier rapping. Uh, I've gotten over my J. Cole hatred for now. I feel I taken all ability to jump back into the J. Cole hatred. However, um, I understand it, and he's still a great rapper, so I'm not too mad at it.
You know what album I went back and listened to?
What's that?
KOD.
Hard.
I like it more. I listened to it later than I liked it when it came out. But it he has this is so random, but he has two songs back to back. He has the Count It Ups, the ATM record. Count It Up,
Yeah,
Count It Up. I hate it. That is one of my least favorite
yeah,
J. Cole songs.
agreed.
And then the next song, I don't know how familiar you are with the album, but the next song is a song called Motivate. It's the exact same song. One goes, count it up, count up. The other goes, motivate, motivate. And I'm like, who did your sequencing?
Yeah, that was a
It's the
mistake.
same song back
That
to
was a
back.
mistake.
I was at the mall with my wife and my baby, and then uh we're driving back because we're buying there's a record store and we're buying vinyl. And I KOD because we need KOD and we would have all Cole albums. All we need is KOD.
Yeah,
And I was like, should we finish? Should we get KOD and just finish it, and then we'll have every Cole album? And then we passed on it because we got two other albums. And then I was like, well, let's listen to it on the way home. And was listening to it and got to those two songs. I'm like, it might as well just be one big ass song. Like it's
you're
the
like, you know what?
exact.
I don't need this. I'm cool
It's
without
the
this.
exact. It starts off hard, and then it's like
Yeah,
it's those two songs, and you kind of lose me there. But
which ironically, I actually listened to Off Season today.
ooh,
Uh,
I love that album.
com- complete opposite when it comes down to it,
I
from
love that
start to
album.
finish.
I don't
Flawless.
think that album's appreciated the way it should be.
It's not.
It came out in a really slow music year, COVID year, obviously.
Yeah.
But I still listen to. I think if I made a top whatever J Cole songs, Amari is on there.
Oh yeah,
I
100%.
love Amari. Um, so I guess, do you think Not Like Us wins a Grammy?
Um,
That would be
so
that would
that'd
be
be crazy. That'd be
nuts.
crazy. So it's twofold, right? Not Like Us is clearly the biggest hip hop song of the year by a long shot so
I don't
far.
know. No, I don't.
Uh, however, content wise, that's insane.
Drake, I hear you like him young.
And then no, during the
Win
show
a
he does the
Grammy?
too small gesture. It's like, all right, fam, like you doing a lot right now. Um, for that reason, I think no. But maybe
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It should be number one for this long. I don't know.
Can we talk about the size of that W if you beat a battle against the number one guy, win a battle against the number one guy, and then that song is song of the year and wins a Grammy? Oh no.
I
I
mean,
would
Drake
I
did,
would I would not stop talking shit ever in my life.
but Drake did have the line. Kendrick is open his house. Somebody give him a Grammy right now. It kind of alludes to that.
But
Um,
that's so if
Kendrick also has great music, so no,
are
I get
there
it.
it's just you're it's like reverse psychology. It's
Yeah,
if you say something is going to happen, then it lessens the blow. Like
yeah.
any dude that's ever been like has any dude that's ever like cheated on their girl, you know, it's just like, "Oh, you going to try to tell me I'm cheating?" And it's like like it's the reverse psychology, you know? But man, I really wish some more beef or something needs to go down in hip hop so we don't have to open every podcast talking about Drake and Kendrick. But like that's just what's happening.
Side note, I do want to say, Glorilla dropped a music video, and a line in the song, "She Let You Know." She's got her biker shorts on and she's showing off her moose knuckle.
Okay.
If I had a list of things I've never thought I'd ever hear in a rap song, that's got to be at the top of the list.
Moose Knuckle is crazy.
Side note, song is hard. Song is
Okay.
crazy.
It's like, by the way, I've been bumping that shit.
Song is super hard, but every time I get the moose knuckle, I'm like, all right.
I listened to Ice Spice's new song.
Well, are you in recovery or what's up? You all right?
No, here's the thing. They're like in her song, they're like, is she stealing Nicki Minaj's flow? And I was like, at this point, I'll try anything.
No facts.
So like, I don't know what you're wanting from me.
What was Ice JJ Fish's flow? I can try that. What's up with
Something
it?
about you, girl. No, Ice JJ Fish is crazy. Um, Anywho, let's get off the Drake and Kendrick versus could be coming back
They announced the deal
with
with X.
X. Yeah.
Twitter, nobody calls it X, but yes.
Nobody, not a single soul calls it X.
That's a terrible name. Like, let's rebrand. What are we doing here? Weird place to do it at, right?
It makes sense because this shit started on Instagram, basically.
No, I get it, but it exploded. Apple Music was the best place for it to be at, and I do understand that during verses, all comments go on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's where all the conversation happens. It can work. It's just odd how it's going to happen. Uh, what is left to see on verses?
Oh, there's the one. There's the one that I think can happen.
What's that?
It's Usher Chris Brown.
Usher Chris Brown.
I think
Okay.
that can happen.
I
Um,
do you think egos are too big for it to happen?
Here's Chris Brown. I've heard him talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they floated around uh Usher, and Chris Brown kind of said, there's no competition. And that's how technically everybody is.
Yeah.
But I think it can happen. I think them two, I think they have a interesting history. It's like, are they beefing or are they not? You know? I think they
Yeah.
almost got into a fight or something last year
Something like
at the
that.
roller rink or some shit like that.
But I think that Tiana Taylor was in the middle of it for some reason.
But I think Usher will definitely do a versus. I
He
think he'll
but,
do it.
but if he does it, who's the one person he can go against?
It's
That's
got to be Chris Brown.
I don't want to see anybody else. You need
Yeah,
to go against Justin Timberlake.
I like that, but I know
Justin Timberlake is going through a lot of different things right now. He needs to
he
not worry
might
about.
need the versus check.
He might need the bag. He's
No,
DUIs. Looks like he's on cocaine all the time.
I try not to forget that Timberlake was the leader of White Soul for many years. Like he was the dude that was invited to the cookout. When you can cross over, Eminem kind of did it before he didn't, but like
Yeah.
when you can cross over and get like all races to be like, hey, you cool? Timberlake did that.
No, he did. He did. I
Um,
think Bieber was starting to do that at a certain point.
because Bieber was running around with Lil Twist. Do you remember Lil Twist from Young Money?
Yes, and then Bieber has a video of using the N word, which is crazy. We just overlooked that. Then he ran around with Lil Twist, got in trouble, and they're like, "Nah, it's Lil Twist's fault." Like he's
Dude, he
done
was.
some questionable things, and we still accepted him. So that's a whole. I don't want to get into that. That's a whole different thing.
I have guys in my head or artists in my head that I think would be. It's been a long day, dude.
It's long June, long June.
There are some artists in my head that I want to see do a versus. Who they go against, that I can't do. Other than Usher, Chris Brown, I think DJ Mustard, Mike Will Made It would be a great producer battle.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say after watching the show, you kind of got reminded. Oh, DJ Mustard got some shit.
Did some shit. I think Mike Will Made It versus Mustard would be a twerking booties everywhere show.
Which is just the energy you want in a show, right? I think producers and writers get involved in this, which it's tough because you need to draw the crowd in, but they provide the most fun for what you'll get because there's so much variety to choose
Right.
from.
Uh,
So I would love to see that as a music lover, but I get from a show perspective, DJ Mustard and Michael Made it's just not drawing in the audience outside of music lovers.
Yeah. Um, just I think I've said this for so long. I think Akon needs a versus because what Akon did in the early 2000s,
It's crazy.
unbelievable. And the fact that he never jumped in on this is interesting. Um, yeah, Ti needs one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's a shame.
I think again that Ti is another guy who I think will do it. I think Wayne will do it, but Wayne has no opponent ever
Yeah.
because it'd
No.
be like Wayne and Hove. Hove's never gonna do a versus.
No. Hope's above that. We know
I
that.
think Wayne might. I know Ti will. He's been wanting an opponent. I think they floated around Ti Rick Ross, which I do like, but Rick Ross has done one against Two Chains already,
Didn't Ti say he wants Wayne or something like that?
and so that's what I was thinking. Like those would be two, but Wayne would just clean up though.
It'd be fun,
It
but
would no,
yes,
it would be fun, and I think
yes,
Ti wins some rounds. But in the grand scheme of things, the internet will not say anybody other than Wayne won. So
yeah. Wayne,
you're kind of putting yourself in a
you setting yourself up for
situation.
failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who gets to play soldier?
If I'm Ti, I'm playing Soldier at 20 before you even get anywhere near it.
Right. Um no, I think they need a versus. I think, when Young Thug gets out of jail, if he does, I
Yeah,
think
that's
Thug would have a good one.
very
I
optimistic.
think Big Sean can make some noise in a versus.
A solid 6.
No, Big Sean has one of the best feature bags in the game.
That's true. I'm just here to
He's
talk
got
shit about Big
Mercy
Sean.
and Click. He's got Mercy
But
and Click.
but what happens when Big Sean goes up for the verses and Kendrick just starts playing Not Like Us and pops in and takes over the screen?
There you go. Yeah.
That's
Just
just
because
real.
that's what Kendrick does.
Anytime Big Sean wants to do anything positive, here comes Kendrick.
I think Nas could get up there and do really well.
Yeah.
And
There's not
that's what I was like,
who would be a
not
Nas opponent?
it would have to be someone, but Nas has stood the test of time. So it would like Nas in 50?
Oh no, I don't see that going well for Nas, and I don't want to say that because
Oh, I don't know about that. That'd be close.
I think you're looking at who's judging that, right? Um, I think 50 has some of the most recognizable songs in hip hop.
Okay.
Period. Um, and I think Nas has hits, obviously. Like I think if you are a rap stan, you know Nas songs 1 through 20, no problem. I think a casual rap fan doesn't know more than 5 songs from Nas.
Yeah, I'm not picking a winner. I just think that would be crazy.
I'm just saying, just like we talked about the Wayne and Ti versus, I think you're getting the same outcome in that.
Yeah, like I think
Maybe it's what it is.
I think two guys will show up, but it would just really lean heavily one way. I think Future needs one, but that's a dude that has no opponent.
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
who you try to match up. Now they have done stylistically, like they did Snoop versus DMX, right? Which stylistically
Makes no sense.
makes no sense, but they did it. So I'm not trying to say they have to match it. But for a future battle, like, because I was thinking future Ti, because they're both from Atlanta, they both have crazy catalogs. That music, they don't even sound nearly the same.
But I'm sorry, I do not want to be in any verses where I have to look at somebody play March Madness ever in my
Well,
life.
just the songs, like, so what's a not like super insane future song that people know? Like
Throw
something that's,
away.
yeah, like just throw that in there, and then you're playing that.
Just sonically, it's too much.
Yeah, like you're playing Wicked versus Bring 'Em Out, and it's like, how do I judge that?
But I think Future's one of those artists where sonically you're getting beat. Like there's not much you can really do. It just sometimes the type of music you make trumps even a better song from another artist in that atmosphere, at least.
Yeah, it's interesting because I do feel that there is still a lot of work that can be done. I think there's a lot of matchups, even on the female side of it. I think they float around Missy and Busta Rhymes. I think that gets done. That is something I
Mm.
would love to see.
That would be fun.
I
That'd be fun.
think, and I tell you what, Busta Rhymes better pack a lunch.
Oh, 100%.
He better pack a
100%.
lunch. I don't know if he's expecting to be a favorite in that one because I don't think he is.
But I do want to hear the Touch It remix with everybody brought out.
Everybody.
That would just obviously will put some lights down low for DMX's verse. but that would be so much fun. And that's the type of stuff I want to see when we talk about verses. Now, can you get that many people involved in something that may not make that much money? Probably not. And I think that's what it comes down to is it a waste of time? I
Yeah,
think during COVID it made sense because there's nothing else to do.
right.
But right now it's like, okay, there's too much money to get. Why am I going over here for this?
Yeah, and I personally, and I think me and you were kind of in agreement. I would they to sell tickets, right? To get people to do the shows and go to the shows, um, like with Dipset versus Locks was a moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
It became more of a concert, and
Yeah,
it got away from being a battle.
correct.
And I would like to bring the competition back into it and even just make the optics better. Like when a song's playing, have the song on the screen. This song is playing. Have a voting system where like the internet can vote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Stuff.
now you got egos involved, and I think that's where you run into a problem with artists.
Yeah. And I would like there to be more something more foundationally sound. Like at
I
least
get
at
you.
like at the end, give us uh give us a list of the songs that were played so we don't have to go search it and find a publication or a music journalist that did the list on their own. You know what I'm saying? Like make it more competition based.
Yeah,
And because at the end of the day, if even if there is a voting system, music is so fucking subjective that even if the internet voted you lost, it's just like, did you? You
it
know,
doesn't matter. Yeah,
it
no.
doesn't matter. So I would like to see it. I think I think Busta Rhymes and Missy Elliott was close to being done before everything stopped. So I think that one for sure gets done. I don't see why Mustard or Mike Will Made It would not do one. So I think those get done. But I think the big one that they need to really put minds together to get popping is Chris Brown Usher. That's the one we want to see. Other than Beyonce, Adele for the world championship,
Shit.
Taylor Swift, Beyonce.
Taylor Swift better get underneath the goddamn stadium. It's about to get insane in here.
No, that was I, I remember when they were talking about not even just like not a verses, but just Beyonce, Taylor Swift. I'm like, y'all gonna make me mad, and I don't want to get mad right now.
But there's such
Um,
a large demographic that loves Taylor Swift that I don't even understand. So I hate to get into
hey
those
man,
arguments.
I'm glad you like it. That's all I'm saying.
That's facts.
That's all I'm saying.
I've
Um,
seen videos of Taylor Swift dancing, and I'm glad you like it.
She's like a what those car dealerships that have the wacky wavable arm flailing tube man. Just
And then
that's
she
what
thinks the thing is the audience starts cheering like she getting it, and I'm just like, I think a child could do this, but hey,
every single
go crazy.
person, every single person of any culture that has dealt with Taylor Swift has always said she is like such an amazing person. So I go off of that. Like you seem like you're dope. Even Kendrick Lamar said like her energy is just unbelievable. So I'll go with that. She looks like a really nice person.
And she
Um,
puts numbers up on the board, so respect. As much as we talking respect, honestly.
oh shit, yeah. Like you the white female Elvis. Like do your thing.
White
Um,
female Elvis.
I mean,
I'll take it.
I've said worse things. Um, so let's get into our top five. We got top five bars,
Mm,
one liners, however you want to perceive it. Top five bars from that just kind of left something on your soul. I got one in here that you're gonna be proud of me.
okay. I got
Uh,
one in here that I think that we will share in the top at least two. That's my
well,
guess.
I think I know which one you're talking about, and I think I left it off my list. I'll let you know if we're on point.
Okay, okay.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, I left it off on purpose, but
That's
we'll do it.
disrespectful.
That's
We'll
fine.
see.
Okay. Um, so how about you kick it off? Top five bars of or
Should I
top five your favorite bars. I don't
should
I'm done saying top five best bars of all time. Top five your favorite bars of all time.
should I just give you the artist and then
However you
give
want to
you
do
the
it.
bar?
Number five.
Freedom or jail clips inserted. The baby's being born. Same time a man is murdered.
The
Beginning and end. As
beginning and
far as
end.
rap goes, only natural. I explain my. Oh no! Come on
My
now.
plateau and also shit.
Just concept. Concept wise, bar for bar, nasty Nas.
Yep. No, I'm on there. And I'm gonna start with something similar. Number 5, I got Talib Kweli.
Mm,
Life without knowledge is death in disguise, off of Black Star's KOS.
mm.
Life without knowledge is death in disguise. I heard that shit and I probably sat in my room for about 35 minutes. Just
Just
like, do I have knowledge or am I dead? Number 4, this is the one that I think you'll be proud of me. I got Kanye when he
mm,
says she couldn't afford a car, so she named her daughter Alexis.
crazy.
Insane. Off of All Falls Down. What a bar. That's what I got at 4. What you
Right
got?
here. That put me right here. So I have a Kanye bar at 4 as well.
Okay, cool.
Not the same. I just thought this was fly. This is not. It's a Kanye bar. What are we talking? It's not a. There's not a deep rapping there. I just thought it was fly, and can't tell me nothing. I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven. When I woke, I spent that on a necklace.
Hard.
Just sounds like the flyest, like
Hard, yeah.
ignorant shit I've ever heard in my life.
What you got at
That's
3?
what a way to open a song. On top of all that,
Right?
uh, so at 3, I got Jay-Z.
Hmm.
I father, I Brooklyn dodge him. I jack, I rob, I sin. Oh man, I'm Jackie Robinson. Except when I run the base, I dodge the pin. That's the goat right there.
Yep.
I don't tell you. I
That
don't tell you.
that's number
I just
1.
I like bars that are like fun like that.
Yep. No, I got you. So number 3, I got 50 Cent off of Many Men when he said, "It's clear I'm here for a real reason because I got hit like he got hit, but he ain't breathing."
That's exactly what I thought it was. That's
Okay,
the
let's
one right
go.
there.
Let's go.
That
Yeah, that could be one. Could
is
be
my one.
one.
I
Oh,
just want
that's
to
your one.
clarify
Okay.
before we get there. That's my one.
Yeah, just when it gets there, just let me know. But yeah, no, that bar's crazy just because of the real life events.
Just right here in the soul. I felt that when he said that shit.
All right, so
Just when he said ain't fucking breathing and then left the beat off for a second. I said, oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm not breathing. Um, number 2, I got Biggie when he says, "You're nobody till somebody kills you," off of "You're Nobody."
Mm.
Just because, holy shit, was he was speaking future some future
Manifesting.
shit, yeah,
Manifesting death.
in the worst ways. Uh, but yeah, that's my 2. What you got at 2?
At 2, I got Lil Wayne, 6'7", real G's moving silence like lasagna.
That's the one I thought
Just,
you were talking about. Yeah.
just what? I've never heard such an innovative way of putting a bar together. It threw me off. I've never got. I've heard that shit and I paused the song. And I was like, what?
I've heard people argue that the G in lasagna isn't silent, and I don't. My brain hurts.
Do y'all not speak English? I'm confused.
Lasagna,
It'd be
lasagna.
it'd be it'd be lasagna. Lasagna. It's lasagna, bro. The G is silent.
Give me your
Just
one.
crazy bar. My one, I told you my one.
Yeah,
In the Bible, it says what goes around comes around. Homo shot me 3 weeks later. He got shot down. Now it's clear that I'm here for a real reason because he got hit like I got hit because he fucking breathed. What are we talking about?
yep,
I felt that in my soul the first time I heard it. I was just like, you are an evil man.
yep. And my
What you
number
got?
one, just because like people just said this shit after it, and it became a thing, and it was just I think the coldest. You want to talk about intros, like start of a song or whatever. Tupac, Hail Mary, I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
Mm.
I
That was number 6 on my list. I
I
debated putting that on
I
there.
there hasn't been anything just more daunting and on my favorite Pac song, which is Hail Mary. Um,
Fun fact, I had that on my MySpace when I was in junior high. My mom saw it and I had to
did
take that shit
did
down.
someone push you or no?
No,
I was
not
like,
at
I ain't a
all.
killer, but don't push me. But if you can never push me, then I'll never kill you. You know what I'm
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
It's all perspective.
They left your boy alone. You know what I
It's all
mean?
perspective.
I was like in junior high doing absolutely nothing evil whatsoever, being a good kid, going to football practice. But that line felt necessary on the MySpace.
How do you feel about them football practices now that you have ankle surgery coming up?
Fuck football, first and foremost. Uh,
No, I've got so many concussions from football that when I get a headache now, I'm like, I should have never played.
bro, I'm telling you, man. All those times where I was told, stop acting like it's hurt. You're being soft, fam, sir.
Sir.
I should have sat my ass down, but here we are.
All right. That's all we had for music. So we'll transition to basketball. And
That's
you want to talk about you doing something spontaneous? I got a spontaneous segment that I want to show you.
ooh, okay,
Okay. It's not really doesn't take much from you, but I just want to see your reactions. This is the contracts given out
okay.
in NBA free agency 2016. You ready?
Let's go. 2016.
Andre Drummond got 5 years, 127 million.
I gotta learn
I'm
how
not,
to rebound.
dude, I'm not done. Watch this. Nicholas Batum got 5 years, 120 million
Jesus Christ.
from the Hornets.
Hornets
Hassan
made a lot of steps.
Whiteside got 4 years, 98 million from the Heat.
Poorly aged contract.
Ready for these?
Oh God.
Chandler Parsons got 4 years, 94
Woo!
million from the
Shout out,
Grizzlies.
shout out Grizzlies. That was his second like crazy contract too, from not doing shit.
And more white power. Ryan Anderson, 4 years, 80 million from Houston.
Oh, though, then the Rockets made a mistake.
This
I was about
one,
to say
this one's wild. Ready? Alan Crabb. Do you remember Alan Crabb
hardly.
from Portland? 4 years, 75 million from
Just give him
Portland.
money. Just give him money away.
This one I'm not too mad at. Joakim Noah got 4 years, 73 million. He was coming off. He was nice with the Bulls.
Defensive player of the year. Come on
Yeah,
now,
a real
respect it.
defensive player of the year.
Respect it.
Uh, 4 years, 72 million. Lakers, Luol Deng.
You want to talk about bad contracts? Lakers have given out some terrible contracts.
4 years, 72 million. Bismack Biyombo for the Magic.
Oh, that was a bad contract.
All right, I
He
got
didn't.
four.
He got paid and did nothing after that.
I got four more. Evan Turner, 4 years, 70 million from Portland. So Portland got Alan Crabb and Evan Turner multi-year bags.
That's crazy.
Kent Bazemore, 4 years, 70 million from Atlanta.
That was a bad contract. That wasn't as bad, but that was bad.
Here's your Lakers. Timofey Mozgov, 4 year, 64 million.
First and foremost, don't ever call them my Lakers ever in your life. Secondly, that's what I was thinking about. That was horrible. He was trash before he got the contract.
And then we got the last one, Washington Wizards, Ian Mahimi, 4 years, 64 million. Here's the thing. I know ball, so I know all these guys. You get someone who even watches basketball now, they have no idea who some of these guys are.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Alan Crabb is someone that I remember he was a good 3-point shooter, and like I picked him up in 2K, but that's it. He got a bag. And here's the thing. I remember Houston, the Rockets, were crazy on Kent Bazemore, so we kind of dodged a bullet there, but then ended up giving it all to Ryan Anderson, so that's fun.
All right, I'm gonna throw you on the hot seat here.
You put me on the hot seat? Okay.
I'm putting you on the hot seat. I was gonna do top 10, but I'm gonna do top 5, right?
Top five.
We don't want to spend all day on it. So I do want to pull up in honor of us going into the 2024 NBA draft, right?
Okay.
I want to go a year back. I wanted to talk about the last top 5 picks that we had, what they did for the season, and what you foresee for them long term.
Okay.
Right? We'll start off with your awesome prediction, right? The Twins. So first and foremost, we have Osir Thompson.
Yep.
Right? 63 games played, 18% three-point shooter, right? Rough.
I think I can do better than that.
Brother's not much better. Average 8 points, 6.4 rebounds a game, and 1.9 assists. Obviously had some great defense.
Yeah.
Where do you feel his ceiling is going forward?
Man, those Thompson twins were really hard to really. The Thompson twins were difficult
There you
to
get off the game.
Really get off the game. It was really difficult to really gauge them because they were playing in that league that was just, other
Mm-hmm.
kids that don't really play defense.
And they're
I
discontinuing that league.
well, there you go. I thought Amin Thompson had the higher ceiling. I guess we'll talk about him. But Ozzie Thompson, I knew he was going to be athletic. Him and his brother play very similar. He super athletic, great defender. I'd say, you know what?
Give me a light player ceiling. That's all I want to hear.
I'd say his ceiling is like a Marcus Smart, but
That's
can't
not a.
shoot.
It's not bad. I mean,
Like
Mark
a,
Smart shot 32% from the field last year versus 18.
how do you
we
know that off the
because
top of your head?
I have a problem. I just want to be clear.
Jesus. Like I brought up a guy that you didn't know I was gonna bring up, and you're like, yeah, he shot 32%. I'm like, good lord. Um, no, I pegged him as a Marcus Smart just because the defense is there. Like he's gonna be a good defender. The shooting isn't, and he can keep his head up and he can be a triple double threat. He'll rebound at an elite level for his size. His playmaking is above average. I think he can do. He's more like the guys that I have compared to him are more point guards, and he's not really a point guard.
Yeah,
But I would say he's like a taller Marcus Smart that can't shoot.
for shit.
He just needs to
Uh,
stop.
so you thought he was bad. Let's talk Amon Thompson at number 4. I normally don't lead with this, but it's so bad I feel like I should start with it. Shot 13% from the 3-point line
He
last
just
year.
well, that's kind of skewed because he tried to take them early in the season, and then they told him just fucking stop,
Yeah, it's like,
and so
hey,
he
bro,
stopped. How many threes did he take per game at the end of the year? Do you have that?
I got it right here. Jesus Christ.
It had to be like two, maybe at the
No,
like
it was
maybe
very low.
lower than that.
About two.
Yeah. So I think he is someone, he reminds me, he's Rajon Rondo, like
Okay.
prime Rajon Rondo. He is, and obviously I've watched every Rockets game. Him at the rim, his driving and his finishing it looks like it can be elite. He rebounds at a super high level. He's gonna be a good defender. I think he's gonna get his weight up a little bit, but he's gonna
Yeah.
be a good defender. He's gonna be.
Good size. Good size.
I hope he's more Rondo than Elfrid Payton, if that makes sense.
Okay, I
Like
got you.
very similar guys, a triple double threat. You know, him and his brother are very similar, but I think his brother's more of a wing, and I think Thompson needs the ball in his hands.
Correct. Okay. Let's go 3. Scoot Henderson. Keep in mind he was debated if he wanted to go 2, 1. Obviously, we knew he wasn't going to go 1, right?
Right.
That was a conversation at some point, to be clear. So he averaged 14 points a game,
Mm-hmm.
3 total rebounds, 5.4 assists, shooting 38% from the field.
Yeah. See, the injuries really messed with him, and
Correct.
I think in my head,
He still played 62 games. He played the same amount of games as Amen.
Portland was ran so bad. You know, Portland was ran so bad. Scoot was coming off the bench. Scoot was starting. Then he was coming off the bench. Then he was starting. That team was in complete disarray. I think you get Scoot, put him in the lineup, let him just commit to him. He's your guy. Let him start every single game. Kind of like what the Rockets did with Jalen Green. Like, just throw him in there. I know we suck, but you got to get your minutes in. That's what they got to do with Scoot. Um, I wasn't really fond of him because his 3-point shooting it wasn't there in a guard where it's not there at a college level or a whatever level.
It's not going to get easier.
I don't see it getting easier. Like Jalen Green, I was very iffy on Jalen Green because I'm like, you can't shoot in the G League. How are you supposed to shoot good now?
Correct.
Mind
Yeah.
you, there have been some guys like Kawhi Leonard's a great example of a guy who shot bad in college and then became elite in the NBA. There's a couple of success stories. But he's a driver. He's aggressive. I think his ceiling is like a Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
Um,
Very
uh,
small Russell Westbrook, but I
yeah,
got you.
like he no small as in height. But have you seen Bro's
Oh
beef?
no,
Bro's
no, no.
beefy.
Go ahead. All June. So At two, we have Brandon Miller,
Love him.
who's shined a little bit as second, 37% from the 3-point line,
Mhm.
17.3 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 2.4 assists. Overall, shot 44% from the field.
He was outside of Wimby, he was the guy.
Yeah.
I really like him. He's got a really nice jumper, really good game. His ceiling is like a Paul George.
Okay.
Like just such a pretty game. Mid-range jumper, three-pointer, crafty. Uh he keeps his eyes up and gets others involved as well. I could see him. I think he could be a candidate for most improved this coming season because what else is there to do in Charlotte besides get better? You know.
Facts. And of course, last but not least, we have Victor Wembanyama, 46% from the field, 21.4 points a game, 10 rebounds, 3.9 assists. Um, just ceiling what God? I don't know. I mean, at this rate, the kid
No,
was really, really good.
my player comparison for him going into the draft was he's Rudy Gobert that can shoot threes, which is
Yeah.
fucking terrifying.
Oh, and let me clarify, 3.6 blocks per game.
Yeah, no, the he's
That's your defensive player of the year, realistically.
yeah. I saw Joakim Noah had an interesting take where he's like, you can't be defensive player of the year and your team sucks at playing defense. I don't know if I agree
I
because
see the logic,
it is
right?
an individualistic award,
It
but
is, but your best defenders anchor your entire defense. I kind of get that actually. Like I said, I still think he should have been him, but I completely
yeah,
understand where he's coming from there.
just
And
it's the most
give
insane block numbers. Like if you're blocking that many shots a game,
rest of y'all do something.
yeah,
Like,
like
but hey, we just talked about it. That's a defensive player of the year. So if anybody's gonna know, it's gonna be him. So I don't want to argue with him.
he's gonna and he's getting better. He's
He,
holy shit.
he's God level.
I even think what he's done hasn't been really broadcasted because he was on such a bad team in a small market.
Yeah,
So, and I
I
do
think
even after all the championships, I do think San Antonio is still a small market.
I think that he has potential for top 10 all time.
No, yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you. But yeah, he's Rudy Gobert with ball skills, which is what
Absolutely terrifying.
that's the
Terrifying.
scariest thing. And he stayed healthy. That's the thing. How many games did he play?
71.
70. That's way more. And he didn't have to play. Once they
Yeah,
saw where the season was going, he could have sat, but he played up until the very end. 71 games nowadays. If you get 70 plus games nowadays, you basically played every game.
that's a win.
Yeah, like unbelievable. But yeah, that's a nice little segment you got there. Have you been seeing the Jordan inflation stats going around?
Oh, I have actually. Uh, so, I mean, you can present it, I can present it. They talked about how marketable Michael Jordan was back in what, 88 was the year?
Right.
Where they said that a lot of these stats went 50-50, right? And typically when you're at home, they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt in that
Yep.
situation, right? However, the disparity between away and home, when we talked about steals, was drastic. Basically double. The amount of steals he got away is what he got at home. So it's going around that this was done in order for him to get Defensive Player of the Year to help the league be more marketable because Michael Jordan was their guy. I mean, that's not a question there. We knew Michael Jordan was their guy. As far as the entire NBA, they wanted to find somebody marketable. They wanted to find somebody who had talent, and they hit the lotto. So why not boost the stats a little bit to make it happen?
Yeah, so I got it pulled up right here. It says ranking the home versus road split difference on combined blocks and steals for every NBA Defensive Player of the Year winner. Stocks are scaled on a per 36-minute basis to control for playing time. Michael Jordan leads the home to road difference at 182%.
That's
So on
crazy.
the road, combined steals and blocks, he had about 3 a game. At home, 5.5, which is 182% difference. Number 2 is Mark Eaton at 159%. So about almost a 30% difference. and this is all time, right?
Mhm.
Um, I just my favorite thing to do is just go to the comment section and just see the LeBron Jordan debate happen in the
It's
digital world. I just like to
never
be
gonna
just a little
stop.
fly on the wall, you know?
It's never gonna stop. We can have
No,
our well at some point we'll have our LeBron Jordan debate, um, and have some fun with it.
right? We have to pick a side.
Oh, I've already
That
picked a side.
oh, that means I have to be Jordan.
I didn't
Your
say that I
name
picked.
Jordan.
I didn't even say that I picked anybody. I just said I picked a side.
Are you? We were on the same side though. I think that's the thing.
Huh?
One of us has got to be on the other side for play.
Well, when that time comes, we'll discuss that.
Absolutely. All right. So let's get into. We're gonna end with the mock draft. So let's get into
Okay.
some free agency predictions. We got a couple of guys listed, and you just tell me what team will they be playing for next year. And I want to start off with who I think is the most intriguing guy in free agency. I got DeMar DeRozan. Where does DeMar DeRozan go?
DeMar DeRozan ends up on one of the LA teams. I predict the Lakers.
Me too.
Mm. Uh, I saw him at the Kendrick show. Um, that man looked way too happy to be back in LA with all his LA people. Plus, it just makes sense. The Lakers are trying to get some talent over there. They're missing a guy like DeMar DeRozan that could put the bucket up. Now they still need somebody that can shoot, which is not necessarily DeMar DeRozan. He doesn't. He can shoot mid range all day.
You could just shoot those 20 footers.
He's not getting behind that line ever.
Yeah.
However, I still think that's one of the few moves that the Lakers have available, and it just makes sense. DeMar's been rumored to go to LA for a decade at this point.
Yeah, it'll be super interesting. I could see, I'm with you. I think he definitely comes to LA, one of the teams. I think if it's going to be the Clippers, Paul George has to go. I don't
Oh,
think,
100%.
I don't
There's
think
that doesn't
he,
go together.
yeah, I don't think you getting, because I mean, we'll talk
Can't even
about
afford
some,
it. I don't think you can afford it.
because I think we all assume Harden's resigning.
Yeah,
So Harden, Kawhi, PG, and DeMar. That
I
makes
don't.
sense. I mean, like that makes sense because like position wise, pretty much everybody is accounted for. You got Harden at point. PG you have to move up to two. He's a big two, but that's fine. DeMar DeRozan plays three. Kawhi plays small four, and then you get
Got Zubac at center.
Zubac at five. That's a good team, but there's just I don't think there's enough money to go around there.
Correct.
With the Lakers, I think D'Angelo Russell's going. If he because he has a player option. If
Hmm.
I
Has
think
he earned
he
himself more money? I think he
yeah,
has.
I think he could get a bigger bag. So, and even if he does opt in, I think the Lakers could still move him to free up some money. But I think DeMar DeRozan Lakers, and I think it's a smart move because DeMar DeRozan is one of the best clutch players in the league. He's one of the best closers in the game. I think I haven't looked up the stats. I don't have them in front of me, but like fourth quarter numbers, he's top of the league or top two. And I think him on the Lakers, that's something that I think they could use is fourth quarter production. And yeah, I got DeMar DeRozan Lakers. Next one, Paul George, who has the player option. There's probably been the most reports coming out on Paul George.
Yeah, 'cause I think that
One came out today. Yeah.
he's going to be the trickle effect to everybody else. That's kind of my guess. I think nobody moves until Paul George moves.
Yeah, and the report today was that he wants a 4-year deal. Clippers don't want to give him a 4-year deal. So there's
A
that.
lot of teams that will give him a 4-year deal. That's kind of the problem. It's not like he's asking for something unreasonable. He's old. He's what, 33, I believe.
Mm.
So 33, 34. So by the end of this deal,
That's
you're talking about
technically prime. Like that should be prime.
correct. Obviously he has some injury concerns. Uh, However, you're talking about a deal that ends when he's 38, 37. So that's a little concerning. Not everybody in the world is LeBron. So you're thinking about you're overpaying somebody when they're probably on the downside of their career. I get that. However, we know how the NBA works. You're gonna have to pay the money. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, there's a lot of teams, Sixers, they're gonna offer him that money. If I'm the Knicks, I'm gonna find a way to offer you that money. There's just a lot of teams that everything changes if they make that move.
Yeah. Where you got Paul George going?
Um, I'm gonna get bold here. I'm gonna say Clippers.
We have the same. Yeah. I think he returns. I think there's going to be meetings. I think there's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of reports that come out, one team pressuring heavy. And I think it's going to be a big pump fake. I think at the end he's going to re-sign with the Clippers. I think he likes being in LA. I really
I
do.
agree. I agree. I think that team has a lot of potential still. They just not have been healthy enough to showcase what they can do.
Selfishly, like as a fan, like these are my analytical predictions, but as a fan, I think Paul George with the Knicks would be.
I love Paul George. That has been my want this whole time. Ever since Paul George kind of came into what is he going to do? I just think him in a Knicks jersey makes so much sense.
And the coach that I think is going to light a fire under his ass, Thibodeau don't play,
Correct.
and you're going to play some games, you can play some minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and Jalen Brunson's a superstar. You got good role players. Hartenstein's probably resigning. You got Dante DiVincenzo, who popped off, got super good in Julius Randle's absence, but that probably means Randle's going somewhere. But
OG's probably gone too. OG's asking for a lot of money, apparently.
we'll have to see. So Miles Bridges, I got Miles Bridges going to the Pistons because
It just makes sense.
I think, well, I have a funny one too. I think Miles Bridges, there's production there. Character wise, I don't see
Problem.
any serious team. Like, I don't see a playoff contender wanting to potentially. Now, I'm not saying Miles Bridges is a tarnished dude. Like, he could be, made a mistake and then we're good. But I don't see a serious team giving him a deal. So I think Pistons need production. He does that. He
From
averaged like
somebody.
20, 21 and 7 last year. Like
Yeah.
he puts up good numbers. So I got Miles Bridges going to the Pistons. How funny would it be if he went to the Grizzlies with Ja Morant?
Just
They put together a mixtape.
everybody watch out because there's some threats coming from. Don't talk shit to Memphis. They might shoot you.
I
Both
literally
of
put in my notes, I was like Pistons, and in parentheses, I put how funny would it be if he goes to the
them.
Grizzlies? Who do you got?
From Miles Bridges, I could honestly say the same thing. I think the Heat could be interesting. I do think
I
that
guess yeah.
character wise, there's some questions. I think
That's
that
where I
if you
think the Heat wouldn't, but why? But again, if he's like cool, why not?
and that's what I'm saying. I think he's going to be the backup option to a lot of teams that miss out on the guy they want. I'll put
I
it like
saw
that.
I saw a report that said, or a prediction that said the market's going to completely shut him out and he's going to sign a vet minimum deal. And I was
No,
like, that would be insane. I'll take him.
absolutely no.
I don't care if he I don't care if he has dead bodies in his closet. I'll take him for a vet
No.
minimum.
I think the Knicks will take him in a heartbeat for the vet minimum. The Knicks
Jesus.
can sign anybody at this point.
All right, let's keep it going. D'Angelo Russell. What you got?
It's hard for me to see him leaving LA. However, I don't. It seems like that's not working, right? I think we both know that.
A new combination of guys.
Yeah. Where I see him too, that one's a little tougher. I could see quite a few places. If you go to the East, he's going to go to a team that just needs help, right? Because you're going to overpay D'Angelo Russell. That's my guess. He's going to get overpaid somewhere by somebody. I think it depends on what happens. The same trickle effect, right? I think Cleveland's a possible destination based on what happens over there.
Oh yeah, if
Um,
they move on from Garland or somebody.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's an option because D'Angelo Russell has proven that he can be a valuable option. Maybe not reliable, but valuable.
Mm.
I think
You gotta
once
think
again
about.
we talk Miami.
Ooh, yeah.
I could see that. I mean, it depends on what he's looking for, right? Does he want to compete or does he just want money?
Right. I think I could see him going the money route, and I think the Toronto Raptors is a really good spot. They like they take a spin at former Laker point guards. They did it with Dennis Schroeder. I
Hmm.
think I think he's a I think he's a good fit for the Raptors. And a team who I think will be in the race for D'Angelo Russell, a team who I think is super intriguing is the Orlando Magic.
I like that. I
A
like that.
playoff team with Paulo Banchero and a team that's just a defensive juggernaut. So like you could be a guy that maybe doesn't play the best defense like a D'Angelo Russell, and you can go there and be completely fine because you got like that team is just sound, you know, coached very well. Any big guard, like big name guard, point guard, I think Magic is going to be in the running.
And
Speaking of,
if D'Angelo Russell's not looking for money, I have a little wild horse here for you.
here we go.
Why don't we go back to Minnesota? Get Conley out of there. Conley was ass in the playoffs. Let's be honest. I get it. He's a mature vet to help you hold things down. Let's get a little funky. Give me some guy that can score. That was the problem they ran into. Was who can have the ball in their hand and create. And if it's not Ant, who is it? That's a fun dream. It's a hoop dream, but a dream I'd like to see.
Last guy I want to talk about is another. This is probably behind Paul George, is probably the number 2 guy whose name just pops up in different reports. Klay Thompson.
Mm.
What you got?
I don't see him leaving. I just that's
I've
too weird.
tried. I
That's too
heard,
weird.
I've read a report that said the Magic have won a deal,
Yeah.
and then the report came out and said that they cooled off, and then
I just don't see it. Him being another jersey's weird.
but like, how much do you pay the dude who's clearly on a decline? He's not ass. Like
Yeah,
he shot 38% last year on 17 a game. That's any team can use that.
you pay for that. Absolutely.
It's just
He fits in anywhere.
his name, I think, just gets more of a deal than maybe his game does.
Correct. Correct. But I'll
Because
say
like
because
I could see him. I think the Sixers would be a really good spot for him.
awesome spot. But
There's a lot of teams that I think he works with, but
he he fits almost any style of team. He doesn't need the ball in his hands. He can shoot the three and he can play defense.
yeah, like I have him staying with Golden State, but I for funsies would like to see him with another contender like Philly. You
Yeah,
know, maybe he stays in the West and you know get crazy and goes to Minnesota if they start to move some pieces.
that'd be crazy.
You know,
Uh,
like
what what about Jimmy? Jimmy's been in conversation quite a bit lately.
Jimmy Butler's going to be a Houston Rocket.
Is that your prediction or is that your
I
fanfare prediction?
No, I'm not like I'm not a huge fan of Jimmy Butler. I would rather stay away from him at this point. But Houston wants to make a move so bad. They've been wanting to make a move for a long time. And if you're going to make
Yeah,
a move, this is the draft to do it. The Rockets have the number 3 pick. I've said it many pods ago. The Rockets are the only team that don't want their pick.
yeah,
Like we don't need. I hate saying we because it sounds like I'm on the team. The Rockets don't need another young player. They have so much minutes that they have. They have so many minutes that they have to give to their young players. They already have veterans clogging up those minutes in Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks. Like they need to give their dudes some minutes. Bring in a 3rd round pick in there that has to get minutes. You can't sit your 3rd round pick. You know, it's
tough. It's tough.
so I think, and it's the draft is what, tomorrow?
Yeah,
Like I
that's
think
you.
so. If you're, hear me out. If
Okay.
you're the Heat, you're like, okay, Jimmy Butler didn't even play in the playoffs. You know, his health is gonna be worse. Houston calls, ring ring. I got the number 3 pick, and I can give you. You need a
Dylan
point guard.
Brooks.
I can give you Fred VanVleet. You know, I can give you Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet, you know, and like Houston has so much young talent, they could even give a young piece away and there'll still be
Yeah,
enough. Like, I know you're a Tari Eason fan. Tari Eason doesn't play. So he's like,
he
yo,
was hurt 1 year. Let's relax.
he was hurt both years.
He was not hurt.
Look at the total games played. Don't play with me. Look at the
But
total games played.
keep
That's a
talking. Keep
number
talking.
you cannot dispute.
I keep talking. I'm gonna look it up.
So
Breathe, brother.
Tari Eason doesn't play. And so if you go Tari Eason, 3rd round pick, and then throw in a Fred VanVleet, I don't see how you say no to that. I really don't. And I
Uh,
think because
it's all about.
I'm thinking of the young guys to add in the deal, and like Tari Eason's the name that comes to mind because of that concern, right? Because you're not doing Cam Whitmore, you haven't seen what he's got, right?
Correct.
You haven't seen you want Amin Thompson, Jalen Green, I'm not getting involved. Third pick and Jalen Green, no, I better be getting LeBron with that number.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's too much.
yeah, so I definitely Houston's gonna make something fucking happen, and I'm waiting on it.
And to clarify, we said Tari Eason. Is that correct?
Yep.
He played 82 games last year.
Did he?
He did.
Good job. No, I was wrong.
22
Um,
games. He 22 games this year. But
I
yeah,
could have
no.
sworn I must be thinking of something else. But no. Yeah, I think Tari Eason and the third pick, and then you could pick the vet if you want to do Dylan Brooks. I don't think anyone wants Dylan Brooks, so he'd be a dump at that point, like a salary dump. But Fred
Which is
Van
crazy
Fleet,
because he had a good year last year. Decent
no,
year.
it's never he's fucked up his reputation so much that people are just gonna say no because the production next to the ejections,
Salary.
technical fouls, salary, and just the headache that you'll bring, it's not worth it. Um, but I think out of all the veterans out there, like I saw KD was being talked about in some trade talks. Um,
Yeah, I don't see the Suns getting off of him, but I get it.
the Suns have to run it back one more time just to see if it works.
Correct.
You
You
can't
can't just
trade
dip.
KD. Like
Yeah, that's
that's
too
not gonna
soon.
happen. But Jimmy Butler, I think Houston acquires him. I think if it's not now, if we get to the deadline, Houston's playing halfway decent and Miami isn't, we're talking that deal. But Houston's got to make something happen. Houston's got to make something happen with the number 3 pick
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I think Houston's in the position where you have a bunch of young guys that you don't have to pay quite yet. This is a perfect time to bring in some vets who want to win, that have some young talent that can help keep them healthy throughout the year and can sit their ass down in the playoffs and then give the vets all the minutes. I think that's the spot they're in. I mean, we see it in football all the time. With the Patrick Mahomes deal back in the day, this dude's good from the jump. Before we have to pay him, let's bring some guys in and let's run for it. So
Shoot.
I think they're in that type of position.
No, I definitely agree with you. Um, Last one, and then we'll get to our draft. Zach LaVine. Where you
He's
see
going
Zach,
somewhere. He's going
like he's
somewhere.
gone. Chicago's a yard sale at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Once you saw
Um,
Alex Caruso go for Freaky Boy, it was only a matter of time. I think Lakers are on that list if they don't get anybody. Once again, I think he's kind of an afterthought because would you rather have Zach LaVine or Paul George? I think the answer is Paul George.
I agree with
So
that.
I think he's the backup to that, right? If I'm the Knicks, I'm getting involved. If I'm the Sixers, I'm getting involved. The Lakers, I'm getting involved. It's pretty much where the list ends.
Yeah, I Zach LaVine just the team that just rings in my head is the Sacramento Kings. It just seems like a king. Like this is gonna sound mean, and I'd have no issue with Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine on a contender seems weird for some reason. It just seems like he's supposed to be on a mid team for
Yeah.
whatever reason. So I think LaVine, Sacramento Kings. Not that the Kings are mid. I mean, they're mid when they're in the playoffs, but they're a good regular season team. I think it'd still be a big improvement for him. So Zach LaVine to the Sacramento Kings, and the Kings have pieces. You know, like I'll give you Kevin Herter, who's like a Walmart Zach LaVine. If you think about
Yeah.
it, you know, like hey, can I interest you in the same guy, just worse?
Yeah. Worse. Hey, younger.
Yeah. All right. So it's time.
Let's do this.
We are going to
Uh,
do the Bench Player Podcast mock draft. We're going to collaborate. We're going to get through this, and we'll see how the first round goes. And let's see if our minds have changed on any picks. Number one, the Atlanta Hawks. Are we still in agreement on Alex Sarr?
I'm mixed feelings. Only reason because Alex Sarr did not want to work out for the Hawks. And that's a questionable. If you're straight up telling me I don't want to go here, I don't know if I want to bring you to my organization.
Right.
That's just bringing a problem in. Obviously, we don't know how true these conversations went. They might have told you, "Hey, we're set, we're good. Just let us know." But that seems a little funky. So because of that, I got Zach going first.
Okay. So we'll do that. So let's do it. Zachary Ristisher goes 1, to Atlanta. All right. So I think Alex Sarr shoe in for Washington.
Absolutely. It
All right.
makes perfect sense.
So
They
we
have
got
nobody over there.
boom. Rockets at 3. You like Reed Shepard here.
I love Reed Shepard. I think the Rockets might move this pick.
But
But
we're just going
obviously,
to talk about as it is, no trade.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. We think some trades are going to happen, but
Right.
as
Agree.
is, I got Reed Shepard.
All right. So we'll go Reed Shepard
Reed
to
Shepard
Houston.
essentially fixes all the problems that they had. Not all, but a good chunk of the
Shooting
problems they had.
consistency, absolutely. Spurs at number 4. They can go a bunch of different ways. I'm going to say
See if you
a
got
pick I really like. So these bad teams, I always say, obviously they're not going to get center. So Klingen's off.
correct.
You're not getting Klingen, right? So you got a unproven, rough around the edges G League guy in Buzelis. You got a Stephon Castle who's nice on some people's draft boards, but can't shoot. I don't like it.
Correct.
I don't like you can't shoot. Rob Dillingham right here. I think he can shoot. He can play make. I love him at 4.
I think the guard's going off the board. I don't know if it's him. Honestly, I had Stephon Castle up there. To your point, he can't shoot. However, great defensive minded passing guard, which would make the Spurs just tougher and tougher on defense. But points are made, right? Let's go, Rob.
We'll go. We'll just we have to give and take a little bit on this one. So we'll
Absolutely,
go.
absolutely.
I love that pick. All right, Pistons at 5.
I
feel
don't think
like
Donovan goes either. They got Jalen
he
Duren.
can't because they got Duren, right? So
I
I think
got
you're looking at Buzelis.
that's
You're not going Castle. Dalton Connect would be a good overall like shooter, you know.
yeah. I got Zealous. That was who my pick was.
So we'll go Buzelis at 5.
It just makes sense.
Boom.
I think it makes the most sense with what situation they're in.
All right. Now, Hornets are a dumpster fire, right? So
Correct.
they have Mark Williams, who
Correct.
missed some games, but so I don't see them. And Kai Jones is on perk 30s, so like I don't think
Didn't they let him go?
Yeah, they waived him.
So crackhead.
They could go Klingon, but I feel this is where the Hornets go Stephon Castle.
Really, I have Dalton going.
You want to go? Well, let's go Darkness. So we'll go.
I think he's
like
a reliable shooter, questionable on defense, but you're building something, right? So if you got a guy that can, a big guard that can get a knockdown shot, you have to roll with it.
This is where I think Klingon can go.
As 100%. That's where I got Klingon going the Trailblazers. It makes sense. You got you're trying to rebuild over there.
Yeah,
I don't trust anybody over there.
Right, you got DeAndre Ayton, but do you?
Who cares?
You know,
who cares? Yeah,
start working on your future.
Exactly.
Okay. So we got the Spurs sitting at 8. They took a point guard with their first pick. So now it can get interesting. Do you take Nikola Topic at 8 to chill?
And that's what I debated. I said no ultimately.
Okay.
But I understand the argument for it. I end up winning with going Saloon at small forward, just because I think Topic's a better player ultimately. But there is that year of you're not gelling, you're not playing, you lose a year regardless, and it's a tough pill to swallow.
And you get a good prospect right here.
Correct.
He's a little rough around the edges, but okay. Grizzlies at 9. All right, so Castle's fallen, and I think it could happen, right? So I like Ron Holland here. I think the athleticism at 6'6" can play the 2, can play the 3. I like Ron Holland here. That would be my pick. I think Topic, he's just sitting there is crazy because he's going to be nice whenever he's healthy. I think Cody Williams could be a good dude, but honestly,
I had Cody Williams going at this point in time. But to your point, I can see Ron Holland as well. Ron Holland doesn't have a great shot, and I think Memphis is kind of missing that.
Yeah, I got you. Let's go Holland. We'll give and take. Number 10. This is where I think Castle could go.
Castle, yeah, I got either Castle and I got the possibility of Topic going as well.
I like Topic on here. I'm telling you.
I think Utah is like, we're rebuilding. We don't really know what's going on. We don't have our guy yet. So if I have a guy who I feel like, and this is how I feel about Topic, could ultimately be that guy, and I gotta wait a year, it's worth it to me.
You gave me the last pick, so I'm giving you Topic at 10. All right. 11. This could be Castle.
I think this is Castle.
Yeah. So we'll take
I
we'll
mean,
take
you got Kobe White over there who is shining, but you got somebody that can shine right next to him, especially with Levine gone. I think it's a good move.
yeah, like there's so many pieces going to be moving. You can't miss, I feel.
Yeah,
Um, OKC right here. Obviously, point guard is sewed up because of Shea. You don't want big man minutes
hmm
because of Chet. I think Cody Williams is a good pick here.
I agree.
Cody Williams is a fantastic pick here.
This is actually where I had Ron Holland going in anyway, so it kind of
They're like
swapped the
this. They're
two.
like the same guy essentially.
Exactly. Yeah,
Um, Kings at 13. Point guard minutes are going to be De'Aaron Fox. So, and that's my boy Devin Carter. If you watch our TikTok, you know I like Devin Carter. So Kings, I could see them go two guard. I could see them go Jacoby Walter.
that's what I
Um,
got.
let's go Jacoby Walter. Boom.
Jacoby.
14. So they got a big man at 7 with Klingon.
Correct. Correct.
Now, I mean, you don't want to go point guard because Scoot's going to have the ball. And then you also got Anthony Simons, Tristan Da Silva sitting here as a 6'8" guy. I really like it.
It's not a bad pick. I mean, and I feel like with the Trailblazers, you may not get another big guy. You have Scoot, but at the same time, you're still the freaking Trailblazers. Look at the rest of that roster. You just need to take
I
the best
would
guy on the board.
love Devin Carter. And
I'm if I'm Portland, I'm taking the best guy on the board. I don't have
boom,
enough talent to say I don't have enough confidence to Scoot to say I'm gonna build around you.
let's go. I like, and the higher we can take Devin Carter, the better. The Heat at 15. I think this point guard Jared McCain,
I
super
think
shooter.
I think him or Edie makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
Uh, more Jared than anything.
I think he's a one of the best shooters in the draft. That would be fantastic for the Heat. 76ers. This one I got interesting with in my mock. So I like Kyle Flipowski. He's 6'10.
Mm,
He's 6'10, not a rim protector, but he can stretch the floor, and I like it.
which is
Uh,
what they need. That's what they need.
right. But I could see Tristan Da Silva at 6'8 small forward. I think Tobias Harris is leaving, so I could see them go Da Silva. I think they could get a point guard and go Carrington. Who do you think?
Um, Sixers.
I mean, right here it says there according to this website, it says point guard is severe
But
and power forward severe. And I think Flapowski a power forward, Tristan Da Silva
let's go.
as a wing.
Let's go. Flipowski.
Let's
What
go
a name.
Flapowski. That's what I did in my Mac. I like it. I like it. In my mock, I like it. Lakers at 17. Who do you got?
Mm.
I mean,
Uh,
you can't miss. You can't miss with this pick. You
yeah. I
know,
mean, because they're with the situation they're currently in. I'll be honest with you. I would love a solid backup center.
to Edie to the Lakers.
I would take E to the Lakers just because I Anthony Davis is already iffy health wise. I need a solid backup center anyways. Let's do it. Give me some defense.
I like it. All right, so we got Magic point guard. Or I
Oh,
think a
this
point
is
guard's coming. I like Carrington out of Pitt.
me too. Me too. I like
I
that.
think he's a really good lock there. Raptors, a team
Needs everything.
needs everything. I think
Best guy on the board. That's all I'm taking. That's all I care about at this point.
yeah, let's go Tristan Da Silva if that's what we're doing. Okay, so you got the Cavaliers. This is where a guy that I said is on my sleeper list. I think Khalil Ware right here as a center.
Okay.
I I love that pick. He's the most so there's two centers on the board right here. You got Missy and you got Ware. Missy's a catch and dunker. He plays good
Yeah.
defense, but he just catches and dunks. Ware's a little more versatile. So I like him
And I think if you got
here.
Evan Mobley there, you need somebody that's a little more versatile.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. Pelicans at 21.
I think
Uh,
we all assume Brandon Ingram's gonna be gone, right?
right. So do you go with Larry Bird right here and Johnny Furphy, Keyshawn George. They could go point guard. I think they need a point guard, though I love Dyson on their team. That's he's sat last year, but he's showed signs of being an Australian god. You know what I'm saying?
I think
So
you have to go guard here, right? Because
right.
um, CJ McCollum has proven to be ass, right? We've hit that point. Let's be honest here.
I
We've hit that
really
point. He's
really
not
like
reliable.
Terrence Shannon Jr. here. I like Terrence Shannon. I mean, if you want to go traditional, like John Stockton point guard, you got Tyler Kolek right here, who's
But when you have Zion in the paint, that's what you want, right?
I like Kolek going here. I'm gonna be honest with you, and he's a better shooter than Collier, who's higher on the board. Let's go. Let's take the kid. I like it. Suns at 20 at 22 again. I think they go point guard,
I agree. You
and
need
I
somebody
think they go
to. That's the issue they ran into in the playoffs is nobody was there to run the show.
Collier right here. I love it. Bucks at 23. Johnny Furphy just looks like a buck because the Bucks. Pat was it Con Naughton? Like they get value out of their white players, and I think Furphy's a buck here. What do you think?
I'm rocking with it. Let's go.
I like it. He slides apparently. Knicks at 24. Center Missy. I think
Missy,
he's
100%. Missy
like
all day.
because they're getting rid of Mitchell Robinson. He's gone.
Yeah.
Knicks go back to back. I love Terrence Shannon Jr. here. This is my sleeper. This is my
Okay.
sleeper. He had like a sexual assault case, and he was found
That's
not
right.
guilty. They set him
So
up. They
he
set him
slid
up.
he slid back because of it. That's right.
But like the dude averaged like 22, super quick in transition. I like it.
Let's do it.
To the Knicks. 26, we got the Wizards. We got him picking a big guy here. So you want to
Keyshawn George.
Keyshawn George here.
Give me the best dude on the board.
I
It's
like
I
it.
think teams like this, I don't care who you have on your team, what's going on. Give me the best guy on the board.
So three names here for Minnesota. Um, this Shireman dude, he's just an all-around shooter. He's the typical, just he's gonna shoot 40% from three. Ryan Dunn, one of the best defenders in the draft. Offensively, there's a lot to be desired, but
Yeah.
just a defensive beast, right? And then Jalen Tyson, who's a guy who does everything really good. Like he doesn't do anything fantastic. He's not gonna shoot you at the gym. He's not gonna play defense fantastic, but he's just good everywhere. So where does Minnesota want to go? Do you want the consistent shooting? Do you want defense, or do you go with the guy who's really well rounded?
I think at this point you give me shooting. I think that
I like it.
Minnesota has locked up defense. They're a great defensive team. The issue they ran into is who can shoot the ball when it comes down to it. So
Yeah.
if you give me a guy who can constantly get the ball in the bucket, I got to take it.
Yep. Shireman. I like it. Nuggets at 28. If KCP goes, I think this Ryan Dunn dude, as good as he is with defense, 6'6", can play the two and the three. I think that look is great with what the Nuggets got going on.
Let's roll with it.
So we'll go Dunn at the to the Nuggets. Jazz 29th. I think this is where Tyson comes in.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he just consistency.
It fits that type of team as well.
And then we got the last pick. We got Boston. I think they go Tyler Smith here. Tyler Smith, 6'9" small forward, one of the best shooters in the draft. Really good. And I think, I mean, Boston doesn't have like holes or anything.
No, you're just letting this guy develop. That's all it is.
So yeah, like 6'9", 224. Boom. So that's it.
Wow. No Bronny James. That's crazy.
No Bronny James.
So should I take a picture of this so that way we can keep up with how well we did?
Snapshot right here. Bang.
Okay. Yeah. And send that to your boy.
We did it. Yeah, so that's the mock draft. This is what we got. This was a collaborative effort, so it's like our minds kind of working together here. But it's gonna be interesting, and especially if you're a fan of any of these teams that are trading.
Yeah, I think I like what we did, but I think it's gonna be all screwed up the second these trades.
Oh yeah, there's no reason to do a mock draft. We just want an opportunity to maybe be right about some shit.
That's all it is.
That's how it is. But no, I mean, has there been this much? When's the last time there's been this much confusion on who's going to go at number one?
It's been a long time. And typically you have like the 1 and 2 guy that you can maybe debate. Obviously, last year that wasn't the case, but Right? This whole draft is just who knows? Nikola Topic can go one. Who knows? I don't know.
Just to not play. No,
Just cause.
I'll send you our mock, and then I'll send you mine and show like see how different they were. But yeah, man. I mean that's the podcast. Want to appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thanks y'all for watching the shorts and the clips that we post.
Love it. We love it.
It's been crazy. We're on the track for 100 subscribers on YouTube, which is crazy
We need that.
because we don't promote at all. So whoever sees these videos, like that's just y'all seeing them, finding them, because we don't send them to nobody. We just argue with strangers for a living. That's just what we do. Um, but yeah, man, this is the Bench Player Podcast. Any words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. Fuck Rudy Gobert, Always and forever.
Always and forever is crazy.
Also, continue to watch clip ass. You want to talk about terrible cinema? Clips. 100%.
Oh yeah, the Doc. Oh, and fuck Doc Rivers, right?
Yeah, always fuck Doc Rivers, for sure. Raspy voice ass. Apparently, Doc Rivers is fighting the power in this show. So shout out to him, even though that's not true.
It didn't happen.
I really want to see the ranking credits of the show. Where is Doc Rivers listed? I just want to know. That's all.
He's got a different name.
No,
He's
100%.
got an alias.
It's like Doc Ocean. All right, bro. Like, what are we doing here?
Doc Lake. All right, we are the Bench Player Podcast, and we out of here.
Yes, sir.